So before we get started here, I just want to say, I'm not going to be the one that's cheating on the Hive. But before you click off, this video will actually have value, and you'll be interested, I promise. Just bear with me, give me a chance. I'm going to be talking about all the ways that people do cheat on the Hive, and probably tell you a bunch of ways that you didn't even know were cheating. I assume there are probably things you guys have done or do that are cheating on the Hive and you don't even know it. If this happens to be the first video you've seen by me, or the second or third, and you're not subscribed, make sure to do so. Also like the video because it's so easy to do and it really helps out more than you can imagine. So yeah, let's talk about cheating on the Hive. Also, quick disclaimer, I have been streaming on Twitch as well as YouTube. Make sure you guys follow my Twitch. It is linked in the description. I am streaming there as well, and you will not want to miss it. So make sure to follow the Twitch as well as sub on here, obviously. Yeah, let's head right into today's video.
I was gonna check if this was a nick, but their block placement is so horrendous that I don't need to check. I already know it's not a nick. Go away. DannyIsDahBomb with the extensions? I bet you didn't see that one coming. I bet you didn't see that one coming. That was incredible.
There are 3 rules that are generic that don't fit into a specific game category that fit across all game modes on the Hive. The first one has to do with teaming with someone knowing they are a hacker. Technically, the Hive has no way to prove that you do know that someone's hacking, unless you can see them flying around and you continue to team with them, but if you're on a squads game or something like that, you can't really help it. However, if you have a friend and they are hacking and you know they are, you are technically held liable for them hacking and can get in trouble yourself if you go along with them knowing that they are cheating. It's kind of like you are cheating indirectly, so it makes sense why they'd have this rule. Another rule that goes across all game modes, I can picture this a lot in a game like survival games or games, Skywars. Definitely I can picture this in Skywars. Also can picture this in Treasure Wars in a big way, is Sabotage. One of the ways that comes to mind right away for me, it has to do with Treasure Wars. Let's say you are one of the people, you protect your treasure and you're on duos and your teammate decides to come over here and break everything you're doing. Or on Just Build, let's say this is my magical, amazing art creation, and your teammate's like, I'm gonna ruin your art, I'm gonna mess it up. It's really annoying when you have a teammate that does that, especially if you actually want to play a team. Rip. And the third generic thing has to do with sniping, and I don't just mean stream sniping, I mean sniping in general. Targeting a specific player, this could be as a death run death, this could be in Skywars, this could be in Treasure Wars, survival games, just spending your time targeting a specific player. There are a few flaws to this, because sometimes in some cases in games, it's good to go after a specific player. Like if you're playing in Skywars and there's 3 people left, and one player you can see doesn't have great stuff, and one has really good stuff. You'd want to knock out the person with really good stuff first, so then all you have to do right after that is take care of the person with worse stuff, or vice versa. So in some cases, it would make sense to target a specific player. However, it's technically against the rules, which kind of makes it a little confusing. The survival games rule is pretty common and something that you probably already expected before I'm even going to tell you. And it has to do with teaming in solos. This is the biggest way that people specifically cheat in survival games. If people are a duo or a trio and you're playing with 3 people in duos, you will have the 3rd person tag along and they'll cheat in that sense. Or if they play solos and you do it playing with a teammate and you decide to work together or throw something to them, this does technically count as cheating, and this is something that is very common on survival games, like I said, so it is technically cheating, as most people know, and it's definitely frustrating when people do team in this game, because it affects the game for everyone. In Murder Mystery, the best example that comes to mind has to do with ghosting. Basically, if you die, you are technically not supposed to tell the people in the game who the murderer is. Most people do. They'll be like, oh, it's the Steve, the yellow Steve, or it's the person in the blue hoodie. Stuff like that. You are actually technically not supposed to do that and is against the rules. I have never seen someone, from my experience, get banned from this. However, it is a rule that you're not supposed to do, and most people probably do it. If you're watching this video, you've probably done it, or you know people that do it, or see it all the time, but it's technically not allowed, which is kind of shocking. Well, it's not shocking, it's just like, I don't know. It's a thing. For Skywars and Treasure Wars, the rules are actually very, very similar. So there are 2 rules that are the same for both, but each one does have a rule that kind of applies specifically more to one or the other. For Skywars and Treasure Wars, the rule that is the same specifically for these 2 game modes, that doesn't say for any other ones, but these 2, are do not hold up the game. Basically, they don't want the games to last forever, and if you hide underground and crouch, it will just extend the games, and it would just take more time from the player when they could be playing and experiencing the actual game of Skywars, not the find the person hiding underground game. And the second one is don't skybase. This has to do with both of them, which is don't, pretty self-explanatory, don't build a castle in the sky. And they used to, I remember when I first started playing, there was no height limit on Treasure Wars, and you could go as high as you want. You can go like 200 blocks in the sky and build up there and then just build a little den, and that was actually against the rules. But obviously they did add the way to prevent it, so that's the second thing that is mutual between those 2 games. For Treasure Wars itself, the rule that is specific for it is do not spawn kill. Basically, if you don't want to sit there farming XP, that is against the rules of just keep on killing someone, not breaking their treasure. And on Skywars, the one that applied would be, it's not actually a Skywars specific rule, but it fits in Skywars very well. It has to do with illegal skins, such as transparent ones, or small skins. Small skins are good for trapping, however, they are technically not allowed, so if you want to hide in a 1-block hole with a small skin, that isn't actually allowed. Now for the current unlimited time mode on the Hive, as the time of releasing this video. If you're watching it like a year from now, it's probably not around, and the Hive's probably a lot different. But it has to do with block drop. And for block drop, the thing that is against the rule that was actually patched is the glitch where you crouch off the edge of the block and the block will never change. This is something that they have ended up patching and fixing, thankfully, but when it did first come out, the glitch was you can crouch off the edge of the block and it would never actually break. It was super overpowered, and just kind of made the game not fun when people could just crouch off the corner and never die. And it just killed the point of the game, pretty much. It's supposed to be about, not staying on blocks too long. You always have to focus. If you lose focus, you'll die. If you can sit there crouching off the edge of the block, it's not about focus. It's about who's the best at crouching. So the only way to really cheat in this game would be flying, but that's hacking, and hacking isn't part of this video. This is a cheating video for people without hacks, so... Or just build. It is pretty simple. Do not build inappropriate. That one is obvious. It says the option to report inappropriate builds. It's pretty self-explanatory. And the other one for this game mode would be AFKing for XP. You're not supposed to be able to do that. It's against the rules as well. So, yeah, I don't want to hang around too much at just build, but it's just AFKing and building inappropriately. Wow, a cat. Let me build a cat. Hold up. This is gonna be good. Isn't this just the best cat you've ever seen in your life? It looks like a dog. Wow. This is the worst build I've ever made. Well, let's leave that in there. So the thing for hide and seek is pretty self-explanatory. It is the one that you glitch through the wall. I actually don't know how to do it, and I don't even want to do it, because it just kind of kills the point of the game. But you glitch into the wall, and then you can never be found, and it's kind of annoying. But, that is the one for this. Also, AFKing. You can very easily AFK for XP and hide and seek, but it is against the rules. Even though I've never seen someone get banned for AFKing, because if someone decides to leave their computer on and go eat dinner, you can't really prove they're cheating. They might have just got called in for dinner and forgot to leave the game. So, that's kind of the rule for this one. And the last one has to do with death run, and it's pretty much only as a death if you just target a player the entire game. That is targeting / sniping, which is against the rules. Or you're technically not allowed to let a friend go by. Let's say you're a death and you have a friend in the game. You're not actually supposed to let them go by. That is cheating as well. But again, you really do have no way to prove whether the death is targeting or just going for the person they see. So it is a very hard rule to enforce, but it is a rule. They don't want people to snipe or target in death run. So that is going to be all for today's video. If you learned something new or figured out that you're technically a cheater, feel free to leave a comment of what you do that you didn't even know was cheating, or anything that I might have missed. I love reading your guys' comments, so make sure to leave anything that comes to mind. I would love to read it. Make sure, like I said earlier, to subscribe if you're new, and also leave a like. Also, crush the bell to be notified for live streams and anything else on the channel. So yeah, that's all from me. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Goodbye, guys.